Officials say at least 4 people were killed in a Russian missile strike on the western city of Lviv. The attack is seen as one of the biggest on civilian infrastructure in that city since the war began. Let's get right to NBC News foreign correspondent Kelly Cobiella, who joins us from Kyiv. So, Kelly, we know incidents like this are pretty rare in Lviv. You remember how many journalists were there at the beginning of the war. So many people from the eastern and central parts of the country fled to Lviv. Walk us through what happened here and what the situation's like right now.
Yeah, Joe, well, right now the search is still continuing for any possible survivors in this big apartment building. It's about 4 stories tall, but is quite long. So search crews are still looking through the rubble, hoping to find people alive and bring them out alive. And you can see there in this drone footage just how catastrophic this missile strike was. The mayor saying in some cases the roofs were just completely blown off. And you can see that some 60 or 50 cars destroyed as well. Neighboring buildings were also damaged in this strike. It happened at about 1 o'clock in the morning. The Ukrainian military said that 10 ballistic missiles were fired from Russian positions in the Black Sea, at first heading north and then turning sharply west. 7 of them were intercepted, but 3 unfortunately hit. And you see the result there. At least 4 have been killed, confirmed dead so far. The youngest, a 21-year-old woman. The oldest, a 95-year-old woman. The mayor saying she survived World War II only to die in this Russian missile strike. And sadly, Joe, the mayor does expect that number of dead could rise. Joe.
Just incredible. When we look at that video, we have to remember so many people living and working in Lviv right now. So what has been the reaction to this from both Ukraine and from Russia?
Well, look, Ukraine once again is saying this is clearly a war crime. This is clearly a residential area. It's in the center of the city. It's an apartment building. President Zelensky said that gave his condolences, of course, to the victims, but also said that there will be a strong response to Russia for this attack. We haven't heard from Russia regarding this particular attack yet, Joe, but typically what they say, and we've seen this time and again throughout the war, they say we don't strike civilian targets, despite what we're seeing here on our screens. Joe.
Kelly, I also want to ask you about some exclusive reporting by NBC News. It focuses on secret talks that were held between former U.S. officials and the Russians about trying to bring the war to an end. What are we learning?
Yeah, so this is exclusive reporting from my colleague Josh Letterman, and he's citing about half a dozen people briefed on talks, saying that a group of former U.S. top security officials are talking with people in Russia who have contact, are connected with the Kremlin, trying to work out an end game, set up an end game for the war, laying the groundwork for possible discussions to end the war. We've asked a number of different officials for comment on this, including the White House's top security officials. No comment from them. Russia's embassy in Washington didn't respond to a comment. We did ask President Zelensky's office about this. They said in general, they don't comment on statements of anonymous sources about any alleged actions of anonymous people. They also said that their position in terms of negotiations hasn't changed, that any fate of Ukraine must be decided by Ukraine.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.